Welcome back, Guardians. Today we're going to talk about another weapon. This time around we're going to talk about the new pulse rifle that came along Beyond Light. Today we're going to talk about the Stars in Shadow. So as mentioned, the Stars in Shadow is a new pulse rifle that came along with Beyond Light. This is probably one of the best pulse rifles you can get in the game right now when it comes to the PvP meta. In PvE, it's fairly decent. It's a free 40 RPM pulse rifle. It doesn't do anything spectacular in PvE, and there's a lot of better weapons out there, especially the ones you can get from Europa or even from the raid. So I definitely recommend it. If you want a good pulse rifle for PvP, then this weapon is your go-to choice. For PvE, well, it works, but if you're really serious about your PvE gameplay, then this might not be the most optimal choice to go with. And as such, we're going to mostly focus on the PvP aspect of this gun in this video. And to start off with, I'm going to post the weapon stats on the screen right now. And as you can see, it's fairly decent in its stats. Impact is fairly low considering it's a free 40. The range and stability is the ones we want to focus on because this gun can get an insane amount of range, and since this is a PvP gun, that is something you want to get because it gives you more aim assist, it gives you more target acquisition, and it just overall helps you landing those tricky shots from range. Stability is also a good stat to go with because it reduces the recoil of the gun, meaning you're not going to have to compensate as much when firing for longer periods. One thing right off the bat you want to know with this gun is that it is a pulse rifle, so don't expect it to work in close quarters. This gun is one of those guns that works phenomenally well when it's in the mid to long range. So if you want a close quarters combat weapon, then this isn't the gun for you. But if you're going to play PvP and you happen to play one of the bigger maps that have a lot of long corridors or longer distances between targets, then this gun is going to be amazing. It's definitely going to be one of the best guns you can get in the game. It is actually one of the fastest time to kills in the game when it comes to a pulse rifle. So this is definitely a gun you want to get when it comes to PvP. And with that being said, let's take a look at the perks for PvP first and foremost. To start off with, my recommendations is that you're gonna go for a combination of range and stability, since you can actually max out range on this gun. So to start off with, we're gonna go with small bore because it gives you both range and stability, and you can't really go wrong with that. But if you want only range, then hammer forged rifling is the way to go. For the second tier, if you want to use this for both PvE and PvP, then tactical mag, otherwise I would go with accurized rounds, since accurized rounds gives you even more range. For the third tier, this is where it happens to be your own decision kind of. If you want more reload, well, you can go with outlaw. Outlaw is always a good perk to have, especially if you land those precision shots. Otherwise, I would personally either go with surplus or killing wind. Which one of these you're more comfortable with depends on how you play. If you like to use your abilities a lot, if you like to throw grenades a lot, then surplus is not going to be the way to go. Instead, you'd want to go with killing wind. For the final tier of perks, well, this is also kind of a dealer's choice thing. If you're having a hard time hitting those headshots, then Headseeker is definitely the way to go with this gun. But if you're comfortable with hitting headshots, then I would recommend moving targets, since it gives you more target acquisition when you're moving while aiming down sights. And it also increases your movement speed, if that would actually be something you're interested in. Otherwise, I would personally go with kill clip. Kill clip makes it so that when you reload after getting a kill, you get more damage, meaning that if you use this with outlaw, you're gonna have a really good killing machine. And speaking of how much stats you're gonna get with this, so if this gun has hammer forged rifling and accurized rounds, that's gonna be 18 extra range, meaning 66 plus 18, you're gonna get 84 range. And if you add a range masterwork on top of that, you're gonna get 94 range. That's really goddamn good for this gun. But if you want to have a decent mix, I would recommend that you get that stability masterwork to get them on a more even level. So my recommendation for this gun, my personal go-to for this gun, for PvP, I would definitely go with small bore, accurized rounds, killing wind, and moving targets. That would be my go-to for this weapon because I feel like that would be the most overall beneficial thing for me. But of course, you can do whatever you want with this gun. I'm just here to give you an example and a kind of a guideline as to how you want to use this gun. And personally, I would never use this gun in a close quarters map because it's just frustrating dealing with close quarters shotgunners and anything else that's way better in those close narrow corridors. So definitely, if you're going to use this gun, make sure to only use it on maps that you can make sure to keep distance from your enemies with. In PvE, it's fairly basic with this gun. I would still go with small bore, but instead of accurized, I would go with tactical mag. I would then go with outlaw, and I would then finally go with either kill clip or demolitionist. Demolitionist is always a good perk since it recharges your grenade, meaning you're going to be able to throw a lot more grenades fairly more often. Otherwise, I would go with kill clip. And with that being said, I want to ask you guys a question, and that is, what do you think about Stars in Shadows? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you did enjoy the video, then liking the video and subscribing to the channel is much appreciated. And with that being said, I want to wish you the very best of your day and a happy holidays. This is TCSpectre, signing off.